Today I have my Ohuhu paper pad. The plan is to do a random drawing, color it, and be done with it. But I'm giving myself a task, which is to use a random word generator to create just a random prompt for me to draw. So I like to use just 3 different nouns. So let's do this one. Boy, meat, like flesh, and then frogs. Boy meat frogs. Boy meat frogs. Okay. Already got the silicone sheet underneath the one I want to do. I've drawn many frogs before, but I'm terrible at remembering what things look like. So I'm gonna pull up a reference of a frog so that I have something to look at. Here's something in the background. This one dog. She doesn't get to come up here often because she's messy. But my girlfriend has gone out with her friends. So since we're here by ourselves, I am letting her hang out with me up here where she normally is not allowed. And so I'm just drawing in the little froggy here. Doing my best anyway. I like fat frogs. Fat boy frogs. Too many. Sometimes you got too many things. Ah, here we go. Then I don't like the nib, the chisel tip. I like the brush tip for whatever reason. Like even over large areas, I prefer the brush tip. Maybe it's just me. Girl, you're in my way. When you open these markers, any of them, the alcohol markers, they can tend to splash. So if you open them away from your drawing, you won't get little splash marks on there. You can see that my lines are really shaky or whatever. This is very casual. I'm just drawing to be drawn, actually. I was going to draw earlier today, but I wasn't in the mood, so it's like, I will make a video later. So I am holding myself to that. When you outline, that gets a little bit easier. Another option is to just, do a light sketch and then color it with your markers first. Wait for your markers to dry and then go in with the liner, and you can do thin line art. What are you doing? You're making so much noise. Why are you breathing so hard? All right, I got this chicken leg, obviously. Or frog leg. Let's call it a frog leg. A little sick. Let's do it that way. We'll just call it a frog leg. Just embrace the cannibalism here. All right, so I'm just scribbling because it doesn't need to be consistent. It's a fried chicken, right? Bone gray. I could probably use the same gray, but I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but it looks pretty good so far. For shading, again, we can just go over it a couple times with the same color to make it darker, or to make this a little bit faster, you can take one of your grays, light blues, whatever color you want to use, just use a lighter shade of whatever. I like to use the grays. Make sure this one isn't too dark. Grays or light blues, and then you can just use those for shading because they just go on over whatever color you got pretty good. And he makes me say, what are you doing? That's a very good question. I'm probably messing this whole thing up. I probably should have quit earlier, which is something I often tell myself. Never seem to learn that lesson because I'm always like, what else can I do? How far can I go with this? Like, what can I do to make this better? And sometimes it was best left alone. But c'est la vie. Alright, there we go. I feel like that's something. Right, this is something. Here we get pretty deep into a drawing and then you're like, I wish I'd made that a different color because now I'm going and messed it up. That's where I'm at in this process. But I'm not done, which means I'm not conceding yet. This is the part where it gets fun. There's a point in every drawing or painting or anything where it's just messy. It's not, you can't see the vision anymore. You've gotten to a point in the process about halfway where you haven't started detail work or anything, and it's just a blob or a glob, a series of blots, and you're like, oh God, what have I done? Where am I going with this? And then you just keep working and working, and eventually you get somewhere. It may not be where you initially envisioned yourself, but you will get somewhere. And sometimes it makes it so much more interesting because if you go in with a set ideal of how it should look, that should word. If you go in with a set, that should look. And then you're not yet to the skill level where you can create things that look exactly like you want them to look. It can be very discouraging when in reality it's just a skill thing, right? So at first when you're doing these things, any sort of artistic endeavor, creative endeavor, at first don't put so much pressure on yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Just put something on there, and then take an hour, 24 hours, a week, step away from it, come back and evaluate it with a critical eye, not a abusive type of criticism, but constructive criticism for yourself. Be like, oh, I could have done this different, I could have done that different. These are the areas I need to practice, and then go back and practice those things. This marker's nice and juicy too. Sorry, I'm breathing hard. I just ran down the stairs and back, and also I'm old and I've been sitting in the floor. I don't know if y'all can tell, but this is a very short table, so I sit in the floor to do these. And depending on how I sit, it makes my legs fall asleep. And then I make old man groaning noises when I go back up and down the stairs. And that's part of being old. You get used to it to a certain extent. Like, you don't look forward to it, don't get me wrong there, but you do get used to it. You're like, oh, this is just how it is now. It's like when you first start running the mile in PE. If they even still do that. Every day you moan and groan. And one day you're just like, alright, let's just get this over with so we can play dodgeball. Coloring with alcohol markers is so soothing. Especially when they're wet like this one. And they go on so smoothly. I have a bad habit with anything really. Pencil, pen, whatever. I press pretty hard and end up getting hand cramps. So I really put these markers through the pace. They've held up fairly well though. I've used them a good bit. This is my, like if I'm doing a doodle while just sitting around, alcohol markers are great to have because you can color something pretty quick without a lot of messy, but you don't need a lot of materials, you just need the markers. They don't take long to dry at all. They don't stain really. Hey, what are you doing? Stop being weird. Or be better at it, one or the other. Jeez. My dog's climbing under things. She's exploring the whole room. She doesn't get to come up here that often. So when she does, she always crawls in every crack and crevice she can find. I have a cat tower, because we have a cat also. And she likes to climb in it. It's very cute. I might put a picture of it so that you can see it, because it is too cute. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. I'm almost to the stopping point. I'm not trying to do too much with this. It was just a quick little sketch for you guys and me. It's my fulfillment of a pact with myself that even though I didn't feel like doing it at the time that I thought of it, I was going to do it or do something. I had no idea what I was going to draw. Again, I just went with the random word generator. So this is Boy Meat Frog. And as you can see, it is a frog eating a frog leg. Okay, dog. Now you just push your stuff over for no reason. Sorry. Hey, why? Dear Lord. You're a menace. That's her making all that noise. I swear it's not me. Hey! Yeah, you. Chillax. Alright, there we go. A nice little frog eating frog legs in the jungle. Again, I got art flies, which most of this was. So, kudos to these. These are very inexpensive. Highly recommend. I also have the Ohuhu. These are great. And of course, Copics. Very expensive, but also great. Copics have some great colors. The art fly box that I got was, well, I got it right here. This one, 48 colors. As you can see, about half of them are really dark, but that's okay. Sometimes you need the darks, as you can see. I recommend that if you're gonna buy a set, Ohuhu makes a pastel, the white, I think it's their Hawaiian set. Very, very nice. Those are very nice. Got some great colors in there, especially if you like pastels. And again, if you go over a couple of times with the same color, you can get it darker. This is the Ohuhu spiral bound paper pad that's made specifically for their markers. As you can see, the markers do bleed through, but it comes with this silicone thing, so it protects the next page. You can do one side of each page with these markers on this paper. I have yet to find a paper that can block it through both sides, although they do supposedly make paper that would do that, but that seems like a lot of plastic on a piece of paper, And if you're going to hang these, you're only going to see one side anyway. So, alright. Thank you for watching yet another one of my videos. And I hope you come back. Bye.